we want to just dive straight into the stories we have for today. And so let's get right into it. The first one we're going to be tackling is the attack on UTV that happened over the weekend. The management of the media house has condemned the invasion by NPP supporters. There's a number of papers that carry the story, UTV invasion. This is on the new publisher. Management breaks silence as Vim lady suspects insider accomplice. Okay, that's an interesting. I don't know if I can say twist to the story, but yeah, it's kind of interesting that comes up. The Ghanaian publisher also says UTV breaks silence over studio invasion. It has a photo there of Father Dixon. Let's get right into those conversations. I want to start with you, Fuseni Issa. We were all, and I'm sure I can say that for the majority of Ghanaians, we're all shocked or surprised to find a show that is as popular as United Showbiz invaded in that way on live television. I don't know what you make of it and the fallout of that. And as the NPP also, of course, we read the release that came from the party and all of that. What do you make of all that's been happening?
A good morning to you again. A good morning to my co-panelist Cletus. A good morning to your viewers, particularly those in Okankwe North. I'm hoping that the week so far has been good to them, and we're going to finish on the high. Matters arising with despite media and United Showbiz.
Yes.
I must admit I've never watched that program.
Okay.
Because I am not a very late TV viewer. But
yeah.
What transpired on Saturday night, right? The party, the New Patriotic Party, has been very forthright with the facts. We have disassociated ourselves. I mean, the NPP has categorically disassociated ourselves with what transpired on the program. But it was impressive. Once the news broke and I saw on social media, I switched to UTV. And I mean, in almost real time, our director of communications was there to ensure that everything was in its place. But subsequent issues that have come up, because I never watched the show, I didn't even know what triggered all those reactions and all of that. But you see, the party rightly disassociated. This was not sanctioned. It wasn't coming from the center. Subsequent to that, we've been aware that the party itself had made some attempts to engage the media house, particularly on the content of that product, of that program. They have gone on to have some meetings. The party initially wrote to the media house to complain about some of the things that were happening on the program. Ideally, I've heard people say that the party could have gone to the National Media Commission. That's right. But you see, for some of us, like myself, my association with the Citi group, be it radio, be it TV, we form some personal relationships. So when I have issues about the content of a particular program, I know people I can call and complain, and I hope that these things are resolved at that level without having to go to the media commission. Same with any other media house, and because we see ourselves as crucial stakeholders. We are stakeholders. That is why this morning you have invited myself and Cletus here to take part in your programming. You could have done your programming on your own if you didn't think that we're relevant stakeholders to bring some angles to your programming and to what you discuss. So we are stakeholders, and it's in the interest of all of us to be able to build and push forward the frontiers of free speech that is guaranteed in our constitution. But on the other hand, we urge the media houses to be quite responsible. I have heard things subsequent to what happened Saturday night, that I wasn't also particularly too happy. That is not to say that I would have walked into a studio to like my younger brothers did. I wouldn't have done that. But then we would have found a way to address some of the concerns. And you see, I have been to that studio a couple of times. In fact, a number of times, I should say. Even gaining access to the main studio, it takes some doing. It is in a separate building. You have to go winding and all of that. How those young men got access and who granted them access, I have not gone there deep in the night. I don't know what the security looks like in the night. But within the day, I have been on their morning show severally, and I still am wanting. So when Vim Lady comes to tell us that there was some insider dealing, somebody actually gave them access. Was it a case that they wanted to trend? Was it a case that they pushed a story? Was it a case that somebody sitting somewhere and wanted to push? I mean, in fact, there have been changes on the program itself over the last couple of months and all of that. So it is all evolving. Having said that, I'm hoping that the party is pledged that we are going to support the police in its investigations. I'm hoping that the police are actually doing what they have to do. I am hoping that we'll be able to come to some amicable settlement. I'm hoping that we will work as stakeholders, as we are supposed to enrich the democratic governance that we've all ascribed to in this country. So I'm just looking forward to this matter being resolved. I don't think that I need to prolong it any further.
Okay, my biggest challenge is because national, when you refer to the center, NPP, the headquarters, says that they didn't issue the initial letter in the first place. The initial letter that was ripped. That letter that was torn on live TV. They were not the ones that issued it, but there was one part of the party that had done that, that had sent that letter through. One
part of the party is the party.
Yes, I'm just saying.
I have information that they actually came from
center.
Yeah, from the center.
Okay, all right, no problem. No problem. Yeah. Now, my question is, what's the issue in terms of? There's a show that is being run. Do media houses not have the liberty to conduct their shows as they please?
They certainly do, and I agree with you. Media houses can decide to do. They decide the content of their shows, whether it's showbiz, whether it's politics, whether it's. But what I am driving at is that. When I write to complain to you about the content of your program, and then I write to the management of the media house, I'm a panelist. I don't expect that if the NDC has if the NDC has issues with the many media group and the rights to management, me as a panelist who works in here for an hour, should have access to that letter much more. Sit on live TV and tear it apart. It's saying some sort of it communicates something. You understand what I want to, and I hope your viewers get to understand what I want to say.
But the person who tore the letter is apparently a member of your party as well.
I like the word apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
Apparently. I have seen his association with our party in 2016. I saw him with the campaign and all of that. But you see, there are different categories of members. I mean, there are different categories of membership of this political party.
Yeah.
There are people who vote every time for a particular party, but would never bother to be members like myself or maybe Cletus of these political parties who want membership and who wants to. I mean, we are full-time politicians. Yeah. So our membership is at another level. And so there are categories of it. I'm not too sure which category he belongs to at this material time. But I think that we need to work as stakeholders. We need to, and forestall some of these offensive behaviors that will bring up some of these unfortunate incidents.
Cletus.
Yes, my brother.
How are you?
I'm good.
What are your thoughts on all that's been happening? Did you see it? Did you see it live?
Yeah, I saw it live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you make
Good morning, my brother, once again. Good morning, my colleague panelists, and the Honorable Fuseni, your distinguished viewers, the good people of Jirapa constituency. By
the way, I have to say that Jirapa is a very nice part of the country.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I enjoyed my time in Upper West.
Thank you. Let me, in fact, I was so much disgusted to watch the invasion of party executives and party youth.
Were there executives there?
Yeah, they were executives.
Okay.
They were executives, known executives
okay.
of the NPP party that mobilized, some youth of their party to go into the premises of UTV to stop a program that was ongoing or supposed to be aired. And I saw that to be an attack on our democracy, an attack on free speech, and all of that. You see, where we have gotten to in this country, we've chosen the path of democracy, and one cannot stop anybody from criticizing the ills in any government. Prior to 2016 elections, everybody knows how A+ went hard on the then government. There's no doubt about that. A+ in any forum, his media handle will go so hard on the then government. Nobody went to attack him. Nobody mobilized any group of NDC youth to go and attack him. And he himself said it, that none of those boys campaigned for the President Nana-Addo than him. He said it on the show. And that those who now claim to like NPP more than him never worked for the NPP than he did. And they are not NPP than him. So they cannot tell him what to say and what not to say. But my brother, let's don't massage this issue. This issue must be condemned with no uncertainty. Nobody should massage it. Nobody should romance it. What we are experiencing under the current regime is so bad. Look, journalists, that is why independent voices, people who had their voices before 2016, now all of them are scared to even criticize the government. But you might not know what will happen to you the next moment. And that is bad. If our democracy can descend this low, it means that we are not growing. We are not growing in our democratic credentials. Ghana is being touted as the beacon of democracy. And yet there are a lot of illegal things, there are a lot of bad things that happens under our governance. Under the watch of a lawyer who is the president, a human rights lawyer. So many things, unprecedented things have happened under this regime. So I wasn't surprised that it happened. Bro, there are media houses and political programs that people use and criticize governments or individuals in this country. I can mention that if you go to Good Evening Ghana, touch screen, what they do there. So many media houses, TV stations, radio stations, they go hard and criticize the then NDC government under President Mahama. Nobody went to attack anybody. Nobody went to attack anybody. So if people are trying to massage this issue by saying that, look, TV stations should also be mindful with what they say and who they allow on their platform. Me and my brother Fuseni, we are here discussing this issue. If somebody is not happy about his submission, the person cannot walk in here to come and attack him or to come and tell you that he must not be part of the show. There are so many ways, channels, that those NPP people could use to resolve their grievances. If A+ is insulting the General Secretary or has insulted the General Secretary of the NPP or has insulted the Vice President or has insulted the President, which A+ said he never did. He criticized them. Criticism is different from insults. He is criticizing the ills that are happening in the government. That cannot be attributed to insults. You know, so if somebody is criticizing a government or something that is not right, you cannot take the laws into your own hands to walk into the premises of the TV studio to go and stop the person. If I sit here and I say something that somebody is not happy about, the person has the right to sue me and probably sue the station.
Yeah.
So the NPP has disappointed us as far as this issue is concerned. I see them.
No, but they came out strongly to say to dissociate themselves from the incident.
Yes, it is. Yes,
they were members of the. They admitted they were members of their party, but it was not sanctioned by them.
Yes, that is what they will do for the cameras and for the public. But the Anyaso Otun Youth Organizer was there. There were other party executives that actually led the boys there. And I don't think that these boys can just sit down and decide that we'll go and do this on our own. We are all in politics. We all know what politicians do. They are aware of it. They are aware. They sanction it. Yet they will come and tell the public that they are not aware of it. We all know that. Look, there are so many illegal or unprecedented things that happen under this regime. Under this watch, under the current regime, a pregnant judge had to run for her dear life in Kumasi by Delta forces. They invaded a court. That has never happened. Even under a military regime, you won't see these things happening. You saw even on the seat of government how a senior police officer was being molested by one of the NPP foot soldier. And nobody did anything. You saw how in Kumasi, how a national security or regional security coordinator was being dragged from his office by these same NPP hoodlums. So they have enjoyed it for some time. And when they do it, they know their party will come and do the gymnastics, the populism, use the security agencies, and then get them out. That is what they are known for. And it's bad. It's not helping our democracy. Everybody, look, independent watchers, the media, the clergy, everybody, the Catholic Bishop Conference and all of that. These are things that we always say that, please, we cannot watch these things happening. We can't watch these things happening. How on earth will anybody do what those guys did at UTV? How? Why will you do that? You are not happy about something that has been said by your party, then the only option you have is to walk into the premises to attack the station, to attack the panelists, or to get that supposed panelist out of the show. Is that the way to go? Is that how democracy is now under the current regime? I'm so sad and disappointed. We cannot be doing our politics this way. Look, the media and panelists in this country, they went hard on President Mahama and the NDC. They did that. Everybody knows that. Why is it that when they criticize this government small, a little, then they are crying?
Okay.
Foul. Why can't they be tolerant? Why? They think that President Mahama didn't have blood. He's not a human being. The NDC members are not human beings. They alone can be attacked. All sort of things can be said about them, and yet they won't go to any TV station to attack anybody. Why? Are they more Ghanaian than anybody? Bro, you, the media people, should condemn this. I'm even surprised that you people are also even massaging the issue. Any journalist at all who's supposed to condemn this issue. Any media person, because, look, any day, it can happen here. If you don't condemn it, if the right investigations are not done, if these people are not punished, and they massage it the usual way, it will happen again. It can happen here.
Maybe you don't watch Breakfast Daily, but we condemned it here yesterday.
I understand, but I'm just adding my voice to the fact that no media house or Ghanaian person should massage this issue. Nobody should romance it.
Okay.
Let the right investigation be done.
Yeah.
The perpetrators should be brought to book. They should be charged.
Okay. So, Honorable Isa, the question, I have two questions. It appears that the police seem to be handling this with kid gloves. It appears. When I say kid gloves, I'm saying it in the context of a reportage that suggests that, yes, 16 were arrested, but contrary to their typical practice where when they arrest, they publish the names and most of the time faces of those who have been arrested on their social media handles. In this case, it hasn't been done. It wasn't done. That's one question, and I don't know what your take on that is. But on the other hand, the party says we distance ourselves from this, but from all indications, if you look at the press freedom rankings, right, is it just enough to say we distance ourselves? Because we used to be in the 30s, okay, in press freedom rankings. We've dropped down to 60-something in press freedom rankings. And if the party doesn't become more overtly against and deal with it strongly, the same sentiments and feelings and impressions that it's like we're not dealing with things as strongly as we should will continue.
You're talking about a new patriotic party whose antecedent is the UP party, right? This is a party who has fought to push the frontiers of free speech. And it's not in doubt. Our track record in this is not in doubt.
I agree.
It's
repealing the libel law, all those things.
Of course. It shows you who we are.
Yes. But
and how we hold this sacrosanct.
So
how
important
it is for us.
How have we dropped so low in our press freedom ranking?
You see, it's true. The party, New Patriotic Party, is a huge vehicle. And I've heard from certain quarters that, look, the political parties are some of the most effective systems we have in our country, such that something happens at headquarters, it goes ground, because we have a working system. And you see, this morning, I am sure there's somebody in Jirapa working on behalf of the New Patriotic Party, somebody in Akwitema, somebody in Wioso. I mean, it's a huge party. Yeah. We won't always get it right. Okay. We won't get 100% right. These things will happen. But you see, I don't also want to go back to bring a chronology or a plethora of events that have happened. We saw what happened in Radio Adan. Would you attribute that to the New Patriotic Party? No, but it will affect our ranking. Yeah. Not too long ago, there was an incident in Tamale.
There are things that are not political. But
of course, it will affect our ranking. Yeah. Not too long ago, there was an incident in Tamale. It was an NDC former constituency officer who had walked into a studio to attack somebody who on live radio. It is not perpetrated by the New Patriotic Party. We have no hand in there, but it will affect our ranking. Yeah. So at the ranking, that's why I keep referring to all of us as stakeholders, making sure that our actions, whether overtly or covertly, we have to be able to foster some of these things. So our ranking is a holistic performance of us as a people, and it is not just government. NPP, because what happened in Adan, what happened in Tamale, you cannot directly associate that with the New Patriotic Party, but it will certainly affect our ranking. So all of us as stakeholders should get in there. As to whether the police are treating this with kid gloves, I don't speak for the police. I do not speak for the police. So unless we have to wait and if you have any issues, address to the police for them to come up where investigations are. Like you said, why have they not published names? And I think that these are issues that the police will have to come and answer.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough.